Hello everyone and welcome back to the seventh part tutorial of how to model the foundation of a house. So basically this part of the tutorial and the next one is basically some of kind of a remake for the parts that I already published. Now the thing is that the parts that I already published, the seventh and eighth part, was meant to be very simple, but then some viewers asked me to model the whole garage door, and I decided to apply to this. So what happened is I created a rig, a simple rig for the garage door, which I watched on other tutorial of a person in YouTube, and then I applied the same things into my own tutorials uh, to this tutorial, and then was coming this request to create the whole garage door structure. So it put me into position where basically I just like earlier things that had to be a little bit later on. So first we need to create the model and then rig it. So in that earlier case, what I've done, I just created a simple door from few polygons and then rigged it already. So whoever watched that part of the tutorial, I'm sorry about that, but I hope that this will serve you some better answer for modeling this. Anyway, let's start without further saying because it's already too much. One more thing before, I may need to switch from scenes. I mean, I will have to copy things from this scene into other scenes, so it will be easier for me to work with it. So if you just adjust to this way that I'm working, I just feel that it's a little bit better that way instead of trying to model in a populated scene like this one that is already have a lot of things that can, just be on your way whenever you want to model, and you do want them to be there, but still yet at most they are just interfering with your modeling process. Anyway, I'm gonna right click, choose face. We're gonna grab this face, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over polygons, make sure that you are at polygons shelf, edit mesh, duplicate this face. Now press F8 3 times to get rid of this gizmo here. So 1, 2, 3, and you will see that both items has been selected, the face and the house. So control and select the house to unselect it. You will remain selected with only this face that you duplicated. Modify center pivot. Go over edit, delete by type history for it. Switch to move tool, hold on the V key. Sorry, don't hold on the V key, just bring it here. Use the scale tool to stretch this a little, like that. Right click on the background, choose vertices, grab those vertices, switch to move tool, hold on the V key and snap it over this side of the garage door. Now it's going to be a little bit hard for some reason. You see, it's taking me time to snap it. So please be patient. I don't know, something with Maya sometimes working very different than you want because there are so much geometry in this scene already, and it's relaying on this geometry, like those edges back here or whatever going on here. So sometimes just hard time to snap that way. So with that done, press F8, make sure you are in object mode, shift right click on the object, choose insert edge loop tool options here. Make sure you choose multiple edge loops, okay? And here type in something like 6 or 5. Really depends on you. I suggest you to go with lower number. That way you will create tinier pieces. Now what I mean is that I'm going to divide this plane here with this tool. So you're going to click here on this edge or this edge to add those edge loops. So 6 edge loops as typed in here has been created in between those two. And then you have 7 parts here. So we have 7 parts, but we don't really need this. This is only a way for us to indicate what should be each piece size. So I'm going to keep this here, and I'm going to create a cube. And let's bring this cube over here. You see it's here. I'm going to bring this here, choose the door and the cube, and isolate them. So now I can bring the cube over here. And what I want to do, I want to match the size of the cube to one piece of this door. So see, like that, we're going to right click, choose vertices, make sure you select only the cube, right click on the background, vertices, choose those vertices up here, and hold on the V key, match them to the same height as this edge here. Now it's a little bit hard, so let's start with the side ones. Hold on the V key and snap them here. So you see all of them snap to this area. Now those, hold on the V key and push this over here, it will snap. Press F8 to bring it back to object mode. Let's right click, choose vertices, let's grab all those vertices, hold on the V key and snap them to the door like that. And let's bring those manually without snapping to something about so. Okay, that's good. Now we're gonna grab those here and wanna hold on the V key and snap them to the lower part, which is this here, see? And then do the same with the upper ones and snap them to this one. So right now, press F8, bring it back to object mode, move it aside. Just make sure that this is really the size that they should be, okay? Now, let's see. Yeah, it looks like that's good. So I'm gonna bring it back here, gonna grab this, delete it. Grab this and click here to unisolate this. Now with that done, you wanna hold down the D key and the V key at the same time. So you see here it's turning into some kind of different gizmo, and V, making it a circle here. Middle mouse click, hold, and drag at the same time to this corner here, while the D and the V key still, pressed down. So D, V, and middle mouse click at the same time. So it will snap the pivot adjustment tool over this corner, hold on the V key, and just snap it to this side corner of this wall here, okay? So basically it was here at first, the door, but right now it's over this wall, okay? But it's precisely where it should be. So now you want to Control D, just press Control D one time. It will create a duplicated item that is at the same position. Hold down the V key and push it up above this one. Okay, just not exactly push this up, just point to this upper corner here of this first one. So it will snap it to it, above it, and then press Shift D to do the same copy with path. Basically it's duplicating with the same path that you moved the second one. So if I will press Shift D again, it will continue and build up this whole door all the way to the top. Just make sure that it's really fit as it was the first plane that we divided. Okay, so you see it's really where it should be. So that way the entire entry is covered, so that's good. Now I'm gonna save this file as it is, file save scene, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start build up the rail. So I'm gonna minimize my Maya and I'm gonna show you a few things here. I know it's going to be a little bit over instructed, but I think that's worth it. So as I mentioned that I created the first attempt to create these parts of the tutorial, I did some kind of mistake about something, and I'm gonna talk about this. This is just a reference picture to see how these things are built. And as you can see, we have the door here, and to the back of the door we have those links here that connected the pieces, connecting those pieces of the door. Now the side links are basically just links with pivots that are sliding on top of our rail here, okay? And you can see the rail is pretty far away from where the door is. So I talked about that, and I just thought that you can bring the rail to be at the same position where the door is, but basically it's not true. You should make some distance in between them and make them far. So whenever I created the rig, what I done is like I relayed on the rail as it was attached, almost attached to the door, to the side of the door, and like ignoring the fact that there are links here that keep them a little bit far away. Anyway, we're gonna try and match this same scenario to our same model. So we're gonna create, first of all, the rail, and then we will create some other stuff that I will talk about later on. So for the rail, we're gonna go back to Maya. And again, I already created the rail once, but we will create it once again. Now, what I want from you is I want you to grab the door pieces that way. Well, let's grab the door pieces and the home, okay, and the house. Something like that. Let's make sure, no, that will be, I guess it will be harder for me to do this. Let's grab the house, select some pieces. Let's select some pieces of the door. That. Let's unselect that. Let's go over edit, copy. Make sure you already saved this. Go over file, new scene, don't save, well, save, and edit, paste. Now it will be duplicated at the same position as the other scene. So you don't want to move anything from the position that it's right now. We're going to relay on this position. So then we can, duplicate things back and forth to the other scene while it's relaying on the same position. So now I'm going to grab this and open the outliner. And you can see we have a group. And in this group, we have tons of groups because this first scene we created is not, it's not a clean scene. Now, the pasted polycube 11 for me, this is the house, I think. So if the house is selected, you see it's highlighted, and then I need to look for expand those groups until I found the most highlighted line here, which is this one. So basically I want to grab this and move this outside of the groups above, and then I can simply grab this, or basically grab the house, edit, delete by type history, and get rid of those unneeded groups. Then I have the group that contains all the door here, all the doors. So we have house and doors, okay, the door pieces. Now we can ungroup them, but right now that doesn't matter. We're going to keep this as it is. What I do want is I want you to first make sure that you decided how thick the door are, okay? So if I'm going to grab this group right now, I'm going to click isolate them. You can see this is the width of the door, and this is really important right now because you want to make sure that you do it correctly. You want to choose this and not, otherwise you will just need to erase whatever you're going to do later on. So decide the thickness of this doors, and then we're going to relay on this. So we're going to create a curve, okay? This curve will serve us as for creating the rail. Now you want to create a rail that is depend on the height of this rail is dependent on the ceiling height. So this is why I have the house here, just to know better where is my ceiling. So I'm going to switch to side view. And I think this is the side view. And if I'm going to go over X-ray, I can see just the doors here. And if I'm going to grab shading again and choose wireframe unshaded, I can see also the wireframes. Now, just for this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a face here that is attached to the ceiling, which is this face here. I'm going to grab it. So here at the side view, it's indicating that this edge here, well, just this edge here, see, this one is the ceiling. So I need to know that this is how the height of my rail is going to be somewhere about here, okay? Just not above the ceiling, something about here. I will try to make sure it's somewhere here. So we have the door, which is 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, and a bit, okay? So 4 units and a bit, and then above this unit, it's the unit that is the ceiling, okay? Some of it, part of it. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is my limitation. I need to stay on the 5 for the safe side. So I'm gonna press F8. I'm gonna grab the door parts from the outliner. Sorry. Where is the side view? Again. Okay, the doors are selected. Let's close this thing. This is the side view, and I'm gonna isolate this. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. This is the safe side staying here. It's where I want the curve to stay, somewhere here. So let's create the curve. Create EP curve. Oh, you see this message? People every day, like about 5 people trying to hack my Steam account. So what will happen? I just show you. I know it doesn't get to do with you, but there are phishing bots, and if I will accept this, instantly I will get a message that says, "Hey, hello, my friend want to have a good deal for you. Please add him, and they will serve me a link." Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Look at this, and here you go. I got the message. "Hi, my friend can't add you as a friend. He receives an error, exceeded limit to add friends one day, but he very wants to trade with you." So he wants to trade with me, but this fake link, you can see here the end, instead of being Steam community, it's Steam community. Okay, so this is a phishing website or something, and those are phishing bots. So just to be on the safe side, you're going to go over report violation, suspect hijackers, and dude sent me friend request, and then sent me this message, which I will have to grab, copy, and paste it over here and submit report, and go over here, unfriend, and thank you for trying stealing my account. Anyway, those are bad people who are doing it daily, pretty much daily. And if no one will do something about it, it just will continue on and on. Sorry for being a snitch, but fuck them. Still yet, it's my beloved Steam wallet account and whatever. So let's do this. Create EP curve tool. Now you want to create a curve. A curve is just a simple line, and this line is used as a path for us, at least for this purpose. And this curve is going to be started from this area here, following the door path, and then it will curved here and goes over here. Now the thing is that we don't want to, we want to make sure it's not, exceeding the, intersect with our ceiling again. So you're gonna click once here, and you want to do it on the middle of your door. Okay, you don't have to do this on the middle of the door. You can do it over here, but make sure it's straight. Okay. Later on, I prefer to do it that way. I'm gonna click here once, and then click once here. Okay, and press enter. Now you can't see the line only because one thing, we isolated the doors. Basically, if I'm gonna unisolate this, then you will see this line. You see it? Okay, so I'm gonna grab the group again here. I'm basically doing it pretty blindly. So anyway, you're gonna grab only the curve right now, only this first curve, and well, let's grab this and that together and isolate them. So now we can see it, both. Move to the side view. Well, we need to isolate them again. So let's unisolate and isolate again. So you see, isolating them. And now we want to count. You see each unit 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. So you want to make sure that over here you count 4 and a bit. So let's do it. Create, again, EP curve, click at the same point where you ended this line. You can see the line, so it's easy. 1. And again, it's isolated, so we can't see the line, but we will assume. So I'm going to create 1 dot here, 1 dot here. I don't want to, pass this unit edge here. And I want to continue this as 1. And let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit, about so. 1 click here and press enter. Okay, so if I'm going to unisolate this, you will see this is what I created. So now I have 2 different lines here, and I'm going to unisolate this as well. And you can see that they are at the same position, so it's easier for me to grab both of them and connect them right now. Now, before that, I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to move them here and switch to side view. And you can see that the ceiling is here and the line is here. And if we want, we can bring this and stretch this a little bit more. So right now, that's fine. Let's leave it there. I'm gonna, well, let me take a look at this again. Yeah, we can stretch this a little bit. No harm will happen. So I'm gonna bring this here. I'm gonna grab this curve. Right click on the background, control vertices. I'm going to grab only those and just stretch them a little bit. Again, I don't want to pass this ceiling, okay? Like so. Yeah, like so. Yeah. Good. Now, you want to grab those 2. This one first, shift select this one. I want to go over curve option box, okay, tab, and you have this option here next to the scissors, attach curves. So if you click on this, it will automatically create a new copy. Now undo that. I'm going to show you how you can do this. You hold both of them, this first and this second, hold on the space bar, edit curve, and here you have attach curves option and option box. Click on this. And you want to make sure that you don't keep the original. So that means that this, well, you do want to keep the original, sorry. So this 2 will remain, but it will create a new copy. And you want to make sure that when you connect them and not blending them. And then you click apply. So you click close. And if I'm going to unisolate whatever is here, I'm going to grab this. You see I have the 2. Okay, so let's delete this one. And let's delete this one, and we will remain with this one. Now this one here is a little bit offsetted here. I'm going to switch to side view so you can see it. There is a very minor offset here. So I'm going to control vertices, and I'm going to bring those a little bit over here that way. That way. Press F8, bring it back to object mode. Right click, choose control vertices again, and we're going to set this angle a little bit better. So I'm going to bring this a little bit here. I'm going to bring this a little bit there, even this one a little bit there. So the angle here will be nice and smooth. Okay, don't play with it that much, just a little bit to make it that way. With that done, we are good to continue. So what we're going to do now is we first of all switch back to side view, and I'm going to grab them and the pivot, this curve, modify center pivot for it, and let's zoom on this area. So you see the door is here, and I don't want the curve to be on the same position in the middle where the door is. Basically what I want this to be something like that. So I'm going to extrude face on top of this to create the base shape of my rail. Now, if the rail is thick to both sides of the curve, so it means that it will have space here, right? We want to have some space from the door to the rail. So you want to take this a little bit backwards so you have that space, okay? So something like that. We will always be able to move this rail later on, but right now let's keep it that way. And I'm gonna switch to this, and you know what? Let's undo that. I'm sorry. Sorry for the confusion. I'm gonna bring this back to where it was, and you will understand what is the reason. Now, I'm gonna grab from the outliner the doors pieces, and the curve, and isolate them. So, yeah. Well, yes or no. I'm not sure already. What? Let's unisolate this. Let's delete the house, or Control H to hide the house, and this will be great. And now we can work better. I'm gonna create a polygon cube. I'm gonna bring this cube over here. I'm gonna grab our curve, hold on the space bar, left click on Edit Curve, choose Rebuild Curve. Where is it? Somewhere here. Rebuild Curve Options. Okay. Now here you want to make sure you choose uniform. You want to make sure that you use 0 to spans option. Here you want to make sure that you type in something like 50, and I will explain this even though at the last attempt, the first attempt by creating those parts, I used much less than that, and you want to make sure that 3 cubic is ticked, and you don't want the keep original to stay. So you want to click apply, and what it will do, it will add vertices to your curve here. So basically it spread 50 vertices along this path in equal distance in between them. Now I chose 50 to create because I want to have enough amount of vertices in this area, so whenever I will duplicate, basically extrude one face of this cube along this path, it will have a smooth angle here and not really hard, corners or shapes. So you will see. We're gonna grab this cube, right click, choose faces. I'm gonna delete the entire faces except the upper one and delete. And you want to press F8, and you want to choose modify center pivot for it. And you want to grab this and right click on our curve, control vertices. And whenever we created this curve, we started from this area for a reason. Okay, from the bottom here to the top there. Now, basically, when you start a curve, this is where the start point of this path as well. So it has a unique dot here, which is look like a U letter, and you have an empty square, and everything except those two looks like this, like dots, or I don't know, squarey filled dots. So the U resemble the start point, while this empty square is resemble the end point. And you want to make sure that the shape that you're going to extrude along this path will sit, its center of this shape will be attached to the first point. Okay, so you're going to grab this shape, right click on the curve, choose control vertices at the same time. Both are highlighted and selected. Hold down the V key and middle mouse click, hold down and drag to the U letter here. So you see it's exactly in the center. Now just make sure that your plane here is you center the pivot for it before that. Now with that in mind, what you want to do, you want to switch to side view, and you want to make sure that you use the scale tool and scale this down to about the size of the door, something like that. Okay, now for some reason I can only see half. Let's say this is the middle. I only see this half as green. The other side, I don't know why, but I can't see it. But be sure that as long that you do it relying on the door, this will be, the thickness of the door will be same to this piece here. Now I'm gonna stretch this down like so, and you just want to have this simple little thing here. With that in mind, you want to press F8, bring them back to object mode, grab this, shift select this, and as you remember when we rebuilded this curve, we had 50 points, right? So you want to keep it that way, at least for now, and maybe you don't. So it really depends. Let me show you something. Because we have too many vertices here that are unneeded, let's say everything that I'm gonna select here right now is unneeded. You can delete them. Press delete and delete them. Now press F8. You'll see that on your curve you now have 29 spans. If I will undo whatever I did, we will have 50. Okay, so let's select this again and undo that. Now we have 50. Now I'm deleting them, so we have 29. Now you don't want to touch the start point. It will just simply use other dot as the start point. So you want to keep it there where it was. See here. So this piece is still here. And you can delete the other one, but don't touch it. Never mind. We just want to have those, and we're going to delete most of those here, like so as well, and press delete. But what important is that you will understand how many spans you still have. So you have now only 10 when you used to have 50. So what you can do with that is you can grab this plane, shift select this path, and you're going to go over edit mesh. You have sections here, vertices, edge, and face and curve. You want to use the extrude option in the face area because we're going to extrude this face here and not the extrude vertices. I'm going to click options here, and we want to use 10 division instead of 50, which I already typed in on earlier attempt. So you want to click apply, and it will simply extrude this along this path. Okay, now you can see that it should have relay on our vertices, but it didn't, and for some reason I'm a little bit confused here. So I'm going to undo whatever I just did. Please don't delete the vertices. I guess that wasn't that good idea. So let's keep it on 50. Okay, same position. Forget all about what I've done right now. It was a nice example of me doing wrong again. So let's grab them both again. Edit mesh, extrude, type in 50 as like 50 spans that we have on the curve, and click apply. So now this area is, well, it's still hard edges, but it's much more smoother than it could be. Okay, so press F8. With that in mind, you grab only this mesh poly, edit, delete by type history, and now you can move this and relocate it over here. Please keep this, don't touch it, don't delete it, or don't do anything. What I do want you to do by now is go over File, Save Scene As, call this garage, garage, I think, garage toot. Okay, I'm gonna keep it as this name, so I will know how to deal with it. Anyway, we're gonna continue the next part because this is a little bit too much for me for this part. So thank you for watching, and we will deal with the rest of this rail later on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you again for watching, and see you at the next part. Bye bye.